Hey everybody, this is GGB and co-host Bob Person. In my opinion, this Wednesday football game is just kind of replacing the Thursday night football game I was going to predict. But let's get into it. The Ravens at Steelers, and I'm sure you're wondering, how, who's going to play in this game? And it's a fair question. There's going to be no James Conner, for instance, for the Steelers, so therefore we're going to get to see a lot of Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland, who are two underrated backs, I believe. Anthony McFarland was the back that was in my top 10 coming out of college. I think he was 8 on my list, although he probably should be 9 because I put Anthony Gibson at 10 and then I didn't have James Robinson on that list. But, and I loved Anthony McFarland coming out of college, but don't get me wrong, I love Benny Snell either. If you can go back 2 years ago, you could probably see my prediction video on the top 10 running backs. Wait, I don't think I did top 10 running backs. Anyways, Benny Snell was running back I was very high on coming out of college. It was him, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs were the ones I was most excited about coming out of college. And I'm still excited to see how Benny Snell can make an impact on the Steelers team. Also interested to see how the Ravens can do against the Steelers. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to be able to win this game for obvious reasons. They're going to be out a lot of players. They will only have 3 defensive linemen, 6 offensive linemen, and they only have 2 quarterbacks healthy out of their 4 quarterbacks there on the roster, which means Trace McSorley, unfortunately, who has tested positive for COVID, the GOAT McSorley, will not be able to play in this football game, will not be able to start. So, unfortunately, we're looking at RG3 starting, which, honestly, he's the best passer of all 3 of the quarterbacks in Baltimore. And it's going to be interesting. I think RG3 is going to give him more of a threat on the air game. RG3 reminds me a lot of Cam Newton now that they're both burnt out. But RG3 definitely has more of a cannon now than Cam Newton does now. Probably in their primes, Cam Newton had a better cannon, but at this point, Cam can barely throw it anywhere, so definitely not great. But I really think Baltimore's going to actually make this a lot closer than people think. The Steelers are favored by 10, but RG3 is a good quarterback. I'm excited to see how Willie Snead stopped playing. I'm sorry, he tested positive too. I think Willie Snead tested positive, and so did Mark Andrews. So I'm interested to see how Marquise Brown, Devin Duvernay is a guy who was really high coming out of college from Texas, and it's a guy really excited about seeing how they use him moving forward. He's very, very fast. He was great in the slot at Texas, so maybe they'll use him in the slot more. And James Prochet was also a guy I thought was very, very good coming out of college from SMU. I actually got to meet him in person, and he signed my football. So he was a legend in his own time. Anyways, I love James Prochet. I hope he has a great game, mainly just because I met the guy, and he was so nice. He seemed genuinely excited that someone recognized who he was, and there was an actual person who watched SMU football at the Senior Bowl. Anyways, James Prochet was a great guy, and I really hope he has a good game. I think the Steelers end up winning this one, and the Ravens fall to 6-5, which is not ideal if you're the Ravens, but the Steelers move to 11-0, and I'm really excited moving into next week what that Washington game's going to look like, because the Steelers might be more talented, but Washington got a real advantage with this game keep getting pushed and pushed back, because you can't move on to the next opponent while you're still going to play this opponent, so you got to study Ravens game film and not Redskins game film. So that means Redskins have had a total of 10 days to study the Steelers. Whatever they do, they've got to practice for 10 straight days. They've got to let their injuries go away. So, for instance, Antonio Gandy-Golden's a guy who was very high on coming out of college. He's going to be playing in the game for Washington, probably. He'll probably be healthy by that time. And then there's a safety, Deshazor Everett, who will be back in the safety. I'll talk about that in my next prediction video for Washington in the Steelers game, but I'm very high on the young safety core they have. But there's so many things. The Steelers got so ripped off when they had to keep pushing this game back, because they will get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days compared to the Redskins' 10 days to study and prepare. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I think that one's going to be a really, really good game, and probably the better Monday game. I really like the Ravens here to cover, but the Steelers to win. Everybody is a GGB and Colas Pepper saying